Good morning and welcome to the Indy Boomer Show. I'm Mary Pat McKee. I publish a magazine called Indy Boomer. And this morning I'm sitting here with Valerie Dempsey. She is with the Community Hearing Health Centers in Indianapolis. You guys have several locations.
Yes, we have 5.
You have 5 locations. Hey, before we get started with that too much, we're going to do a couple things real quick. Indy Boomer magazine is out. It is in most Kroger and Marsh stores in Marion and surrounding counties. So be sure and stop by and pick up a copy. Bob and Tom is featured. We're getting ready for the March issue. It's just about ready to come out. Should be here on Friday in the stores as well. And be sure and pick that copy up as well. The other thing we like to do is thank Jim Walford and Logan Street Signs and Banners for the opportunity to have the show, and we're very grateful for that. So let's jump right in.
Thanks, Mary Pat.
You are with Hearing Health, and something that as boomers know, whether we like it or not, which most boomers don't because we don't want to admit that we're getting old.
That's true.
We're always young, we'll be forever young. But our hearing, and that's what we're here to talk about. Why do you think that it has become such a big topic nowadays?
I think there's a couple of factors that play into that.
Mm-hmm.
One of which, there was a 20-year study that was released out of Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine back in 2011, linking hearing loss with an increased risk of dementia.
Yes,
and then
I did hear that.
I also
Yes.
think it's just because the baby boomers are hitting our market.
Yes.
And, about 10,000 people a day right now are turning 65. They have been for the last couple of years, and they will be for the next several years.
Mhm.
So there's going to be a huge need for hearing health to help keep you baby boomers young and active and healthy.
And I think there's a stigma with hearing aids that baby boomers have, and I think the baby boomers need to lose that stigma because they think of hearing aids for old people.
Right.
Right. They're not for that.
No. Hearing loss does not discriminate by age. It can come from a variety of factors. Aging is one.
Yes.
Genetics. There are ototoxic medications. There are, you can have an injury or an illness that could contribute to hearing loss.
Mhm.
And quite frankly, we're not selling your grandmother's hearing aid anymore.
That's
These
right.
are new
That's right.
technological devices that are interfacing with you, with your world, with your gadgets.
Mhm.
And they're very cosmetically appealing, comfortable, and natural.
Yes. And another thing that I have learned, and baby boomers should also know, it's not just the fact that you can't hear, you start to lose words.
That's usually where it starts for most people.
Okay.
It's in the higher frequencies,
Mhm.
and that actually starts as an understanding loss more so than a hearing loss itself.
Right.
And that's what a lot of people overlook. The average person waits anywhere from 7 to 10 years
Yeah.
from the onset of hearing loss
Mhm.
to actually come in and get a test and seek out help. So what we recommend is get tested regularly,
Mhm.
listen to your friends, family, and loved ones. If they're concerned, they will notice your hearing loss before you will.
Right.
And, it's important to seek help early. It's like anything else with health in the body. The sooner you address it, the sooner you treat it, the better off you'll be in the long run and the more successful you'll be with hearing aids and, getting connected back to the sounds and the people in your life.
Right. And some folks that I know that are my age, in their 50s, that have hearing aids, you can't even see them.
No, you can't.
I mean, they're really well hidden.
What's really popular now are called receiver in the canal or receiver in the ear.
Is that the one that's
technology.
in there and you can't see it? Or?
Well, there's a little tiny piece that sits behind the ear and a very
Okay.
thin wire that comes in.
Yep.
That hearing aid can actually be configured to fit about 95% of all hearing loss. So
Uh-huh.
it's one of our most flexible platforms. It's easy to maintain, easy to work with. We can do repairs, case changes, things like that in our offices.
Okay.
So I've had a handful of people lately that have put their batteries in backwards and it's kind of ruined their case. 5-10 years ago, I would have had to send that to the factory, would have been gone for a week. Nowadays, they sit in my waiting room for 5 minutes and I come
You
out
can
and have
fix that.
everything taken care of for them.
I never understand that because if the battery just doesn't fit, so what do they do? Force it in there? or
They
something?
must be doing,
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's not a
thinking.
good idea, but
Yeah, no, I know,
that's,
exactly.
We're here to help you if you have some not so great ideas.
Okay. Well, I want everybody to know you've got 5 locations.
We do.
Where are you?
We cover all of central Indiana. We
Okay.
have 3 offices in the Indianapolis area, Castleton,
Mhm.
Nora, Greenwood. We also service Bloomington and Newcastle, and we're one of the only
Oh, really?
companies left that still do home visits.
Oh, really?
The senior population doesn't always drive. Their caretakers are overwhelmed with all the
Mhm.
doctor's visits and dealing with so many other things. So
Right.
we can help take the pressure off with, doing in-home service, in-home testing. It's accurate, it's thorough,
Okay.
and a lot of people appreciate that we still provide those kinds of services.
Sure. I
So pretty
definitely-
much anywhere you can pick up the Boomer magazine, we can come out and see you in your home, your work location, or you're always welcome to come into one of our offices.
Well, good correlation.
Yeah.
I like the wherever you can get Boomer, because that's all that matters.
That's right.
I'm teasing you. Hey, no, what I do want to say, though, I just had a Boomer moment and I lost my thought for a moment. Let me come back around. Oh, I know what it was. If people come into your offices, do you charge them for a free analysis or a hearing test, or how does that work? Tell
We
me.
do the hearing test free of charge.
Okay.
We give a very thorough hearing exam. We look in your ear, we measure how the nerve endings in the inner ear are functioning,
Right.
measure how the bones in the middle ear are conducting sound,
Okay.
and then we also take a look at the brain and how it is processing speech. Most people think that we hear with our ears. Our ears are really just a sound transducer. They take acoustic energy and convert it into a nerve impulse, which is
Okay.
then processed by the brain as sound. That's why it's so important to get your hearing loss treated early on in the process, because the brain will actually reorganize the way that it processes sound at the onset of hearing loss. Sometimes we can reverse that, but with some people we cannot. So that's why
Right.
it's important to come in, get tested regularly, and once the hearing loss is identified, go on ahead and treat it.
Okay, well, that's good to know. What is we also have Hamilton County Radio, which is on Monday through Fridays, so they can also hear the show. Interesting pun there. They can also hear the show as well as see it. What's a phone number good for folks that you can give people?
Locally, it's 317-578-2300. Toll free, it's 877-255-5100.
Okay, and then I know you have the website, which makes
Yes.
complete sense, Community Home.
CommunityHearingHealth.com.
Okay. What other reasons or reasons that people would lose their hearing? I mean, could they be because they listened to loud music when they were young?
You know, noise occupationally, as well
Occupationally,
as, you
yeah.
know, some of those concerts in the 60s, you know, got pretty loud.
Yeah.
Can be aging, genetics, medication, accidents, injuries, or illnesses. There are a lot of factors. It doesn't discriminate by age. As a matter
Right.
of fact, after the iPod hit the market, hearing loss jumped 19% in teenagers.
Oh, really?
Yes, it did.
Wow.
You know, personal listening devices can go very loud in the digital era, where when we grew up it was analog and you turned it up too loud and it got staticky and the sound quality wasn't there.
Right.
But today's music players, the sound quality's there and kids are cranking it up.
Yeah, I know. Have you ever been in the car and been next to somebody and their car's like just shaking?
My son says, "Mom, that's a future client."
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking too. Future client for hearing aids.
That's right.
Okay, we have got a whole bunch more that we want to discuss about hearing loss, hearing aids, that kind of thing. So stay with us. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Thanks. Good.
You know, when Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
How do we do that?
Yeah.
We are back. Welcome back to the Indy Boomer Show. Mary Pat McKee here. I'm sitting here this morning with Valerie Dempsey from the
Community Hearing Health Centers.
Community Hearing Health Centers. They have 5 locations here in Indianapolis, so there's opportunities no matter what side of town you're on that you can go to. We've got Castleton, Greenwood, Nora,
Bloomington and Newcastle.
and Newcastle.
And we
So-
also make house calls.
Yes, and that is a really cool thing that
It
you
is.
make house calls.
Yes, it is.
As you know, a lot of times, it's the baby boomers that are helping their parents maneuver these things that happen when they are trying to deal with safety issues and other things like that. So you're seeing, I'm sure you're experiencing a lot of boomers that are calling in for their parents
Yeah.
and that are bringing their parents in.
Yep, they're being dutiful caretakers, but what a lot of boomers don't realize is that hearing loss is oftentimes hereditary. So they too should be getting that hearing test. Once you hit the age of 60, you really should be getting tested annually.
Right?
You know, and it's just part of overall health.
Right.
And a lot of doctors' offices don't address audiology or
No, they
hearing
don't.
loss. They outsource it, you know, to companies like mine. We have board-certified hearing instrument specialists, which is my qualifications. I also have audiologists on staff as well.
Okay.
Collectively, we have quite a bit of experience. My family has been helping the Hard of Hearing in central Indiana for about 20 years.
Wow.
Community Hearing Health Centers is in its 11th year of helping Hoosiers
Okay,
with
great.
better hearing. So we've been around for a long time. We know what we're doing, and we love helping people.
Well, and you know, another thing too, and you're right about the health doctors and things, they really don't address hearing very much at all. I think it's bad. I think it's bad that insurance does not pay much of, if anything, for hearing
Right.
aids. Which again, like you said, it's only going to increase cost when they get Alzheimer's, and then we got a whole nother expense at hand
Right.
with that. Let's talk a little bit about technology.
Sure.
Can you address that for hearing aids?
So today's technology is very advanced. We're actually taking a man-made device and mimicking a natural biological function with a hearing aid.
Okay.
And that's done through a lot of research, developing psychoacoustics, specific algorithms. The hearing aids today are actually able to identify speech and having a different pattern than noise.
Right.
And we partner with Resound, which is the first company to work with Apple to integrate your hearing aids with your iPhone or your Samsung Galaxy to be able to control your hearing aids with your phone.
Tell me about that. What does
Those
that mean?
kinds of controls are wonderful because they put a lot of tools in the hands of the end user.
Okay.
Previously, people will come into our office and they'll try to describe their experience of hearing through their hearing aid, and then we do our level best to ferret out an appropriate adjustment or tweak
Right.
to make them more satisfied and to help them get more benefit out
Correct.
of their hearing aid. But with the iPhone, you know, they can actually go into an app that's free from Resound, and they can adjust bass and treble independently, so they can control the tone of the sound, because sound quality is a unique personal preference.
Sure.
And there's no one thing that's right for everybody. They can make volume adjustments, they can access different situational settings in
Can
their
they, like
hearing aids.
restaurants? Because
Yes.
that's a big one.
Restaurants,
Being out.
outdoors, you know. There's different hearing aids for different lifestyles.
Okay.
So lifestyle and budget are key factors into
Okay.
how we qualify somebody for a hearing aid and what we recommend
Right,
for them
right.
to adopt the technology. But today's hearing aids are working better and more effectively than ever. As a matter of fact, there was a study done a couple years ago in Denmark that scientifically proved that the Resound hearing aids have the best sound quality in the market.
Really?
They really basically...
That's impressive.
It is impressive, and
That's
that's why
very
we work
impressive.
with them, because we want to give the best technology to our patients and help them as best as we can. Now, that being said, we can order any hearing aid on the market.
Right.
But we just try to give people what, we've got scientific-based evidence that that's the best. And they have the best technology. They actually have 2.4 gigahertz wireless technology in their hearing aids, which is the same technology that's in your smartphone or your tablet or your laptop. So their engineers have done a wonderful job with bringing technology into modern day and connecting people with sounds in their worlds. We can
Right.
actually stream audio from their device into their hearing aids. It's the
How
nice.
so? How would
It's
you,
all
what
done
application
through
for that?
Bluetooth. So there's actually low power Bluetooth that's in the hearing aids themselves.
Okay.
And it's it's the best wireless headphones I could ever think of, you know, because when you're wearing headphones, you're kind of closed off from the world because they're covering your ears and you're listening to what's coming out of those.
Right.
But your hearing aid microphones are active. They're picking up what's going on in the background. So
Right.
if you're listening to audio and somebody hollers that they need help or they ask you a question, you'll still be able to interface with what's going on in your environment when you're wearing your hearing aid and listening
Wow.
to music or videos or, you know, even the...
What about like talking on your phone?
Yes, the phone calls actually come through the hearing aids as well.
That is too wild.
I
So
was-
you don't have to hold your phone, you just talk?
Well, actually, you do hold it like you're
Okay.
on speakerphone.
Okay.
So, you know, I was super excited about people being able to adjust their hearing aids more with the phone.
Yeah,
But
that's
the
cool.
feedback
That's
that
very
I
cool.
got back from my clients were the phone sounds amazing. This is the best I've heard on the phone in years. And I was like, well, that's great, but how about the adjustments? And they're like, well, the hearing aid's pretty good. I've not been messing with it and adjusting it a whole lot.
Well, wouldn't you think that most people would get it to where they want it and probably leave it?
Yes,
You
and
know.
you know, you can actually do that if you have a place that you frequent.
Mm-hmm.
You can dial it in, get the settings where you like it, you can geotag that,
Yeah.
and then every time you go back to that place, it can automatically switch to those
Wow.
settings, or you can choose to do that manually.
I don't need hearing aids, but I might go get some. That's
Well,
pretty cool.
you know, I was like, if I liked iPhones, I would probably wear them, you know? But
Yeah.
I'm more of a Samsung. The Samsung doesn't do the streaming at this time, but they do give you all of the controls.
Right,
To be able to
right.
make the adjustments.
Well, of course, iPhone is number one.
Yes.
That's the only kind of phone I would possibly want. But anyway, hey, we wanted to talk about one more thing. I want to make sure we get it done. What makes hearing aids different, and how do you know what works best for each
Well, I think
person.
what's important is to assess the person's lifestyle
Right.
and to see how they're going to use that hearing aid.
Mhm.
You can have hearing aids that look exactly the same, but they function very differently internally, and that's really what drives the cost
Sure,
of the
I bet.
device.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
how effortless your listening will be in background noise
Mm-hmm.
and challenging a variety of environments.
Right.
So. You know, we assess your lifestyle and try not to, you know, oversell what you need. You know, if you're 80 years old and you sit at home, you don't have to get a hearing aid that's several $1,000s. You can get one that's much more affordable
Right.
for you. And we also offer some interest-free financing to help people be able
Good
to
to
get
know.
that. You
Good
know,
to
you have
know.
to qualify for that. But and
Yeah.
we're providers for most major insurances for those people who are fortunate enough to
Yeah,
have that benefit.
yeah. I don't think Obamacare you get any hearing aids, but
No, you don't,
Yeah.
and not through Medicare
Son
either,
of a gun.
unfortunately.
yeah, I
So,
know.
yeah.
In fact, I found out from my parents they were willing to give them analog.
Oh, well, they
Hearing
don't
aids.
even make those anymore, I don't think.
Well, they
so.
did 5 years ago, and I was like, I don't think so.
No,
Why would you
yeah.
even waste your time
Right.
or energy on anything
Exactly.
like that? Anyway, hey, great information. Thank you so much, Valerie.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
us.
You are more than welcome. Hope you guys can come back again another time. And one more thing before we go. Don't forget to watch Boomer TV on Sunday mornings at 10:30 with Patty Spittler. This week we have a new show, and really excited for everybody to check it out.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, she had to say hi, Mom. Oh my goodness. Hey, thanks everybody. Have a great day.